Welcome to today's jazz guitar lesson, in which I'm going to show you the changes to the Juan Tizol classic from 1941, Perdido. Now, I can think of three reasons why this is an important song to have in your repertoire. Firstly, it's often called at jam sessions, and that's because, on my second point, it's got very simple changes. The A section is pretty much just all diatonic chords from within the key, so that makes it easier when trying to solo over those changes. And thirdly, well, the B section uses the B section of the classic I've Got Rhythm, and that's a really important chord progression to know and to know how to solo over. I think it makes sense first to have a listen to the head and once through the form, which is here played by my good friend Jonny Bruce. Myself and Jonny play together in a group called Moscow Drug Club. I won't explain the name, and we largely play it in the southwest of the UK. Perdido dates back to 1941 and was written by Juan Tizol, who was an integral member of the Duke Ellington band, and you may also know his name for having written the absolute belter Caravan. Now, this particular song, it's usually played in the key of B flat. It's your classic AABA 32 bar standard. Regular viewers of the channel will know that I'm very big on understanding what you're playing and really trying to develop your ear alongside that, of course. But to do that, we need to understand what the key of B flat means. So if we took a B flat major scale, which in a key signature would have two flats, right? So if you're looking at the circle of fifths, there it is. You got two flats for the key of B flat. And the notes that we have in that key are B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A. Back to B flat. So the flats in this key are B flat and E flat. Then if we build chords from each note of the scale, we get the chords in that key: B flat major 7, C minor 7, D minor 7, E flat major 7, the all important F dominant 7th, G minor 7, chord 6, A minor 7 flat 5, chord 7, back to chord 1. So those are our in key chords in this particular key. And that kind of theory for your kind of long time progress, you do just want to learn what that is and just know those are the chords in B flat. So then as you play more standards in that key, they make a lot more sense and they're much easier to remember and understand and to play over. And I think back to when I was first getting into jazz, I would treat learning the chords as I did other styles. I'd learn it from one chord to the next, thinking, oh yeah, okay, so it's G, D, C add 9, whatever song that could be. And really, in jazz, you want to see bigger progressions so that you can break it up into chunks. And, the most obvious progression from those 7 chords is the 2-5-1, which is a mainstay of a lot of jazz standards. 2-5-1 in B flat would be C minor 7, F7 to B flat major. If I put my chart on the screen, lo and behold, this song starts with the 2-5-1, right? So you do a bar of C minor 7 to F7 to B flat 6. Now, just going back a step, when I harmonised the scale earlier, I harmonised everything in sevenths. You can obviously have variations within that harmony, like 6 and 9ths, and for a major chord you could have, major 7, major 6, 6, 9, major 9, and so forth. But we're going for a B flat 6 here, and then we're going D minor 7 to G7. Now, that's a bar of C minor 7, bar of F7, bar of B flat 6, then half a bar of D minor 7, half a bar of G7. So what we call the harmonic rhythm changes in that last bar when we have 2 chords in the bar. And that 4-bar sequence is basically the A section. So how it works is we're going to do that for 1A, we're going to do that twice, so like this. So here's the second time through that. Now we've done 8 bars, second A starts now. The only difference being on this fourth kind of repeat of that progression, we're just going to stay on B flat for 2 bars. And that's the end of the second A section. It's quite a common thing to happen in a jazz standard just before the B section to resolve to the all-important 1 chord, in this case B flat. Now that is a pretty simple A section, and just thinking back to what chords are in the key, you know, it's only the G7 which is out of key, all the rest of it's in key, hence it being an easy song to solo over. So we've got those 2 A sections, only differing by the last 2 bars, basically staying on B flat as you go into the B section. And then the B section is just the same chord type moving around. So this is actually the B section of the classic tune I've Got Rhythm, and it's just dominant 7th chords cycling in 4th. So we do break away from the key here, because we go to D7, okay, and that's a nice dominant chord to set up the B section. Now D7, we're going to move a 4th. We think on D, E, F, G to a G7. We're going to another dominant, G, A, B, C. Go to C7, and then C, D, E, F. So every chord here is moving in a 4th, like the circle of 5ths. So, or circle of 4ths, as most jazz musicians use it. So we're going D7 for 2 bars, 2 bars of G7, 2 bars of C7, 2 bars of F7. Now, so the harmonic rhythms change here too. We're getting 2 bars, 2 measures on each chord. So we're going D7 for 2 bars, to G7 for 2 bars, C7 for 2 bars, to F7 for 2 bars. Now then we'd be back for a third A, which would just be the same as the first. So C minor to F7, B flat 6, D minor, G7, same again. And that would just take us round back to the beginning. We've completed A, B, A, 32 bars. Now I'll play this once through for you, and I'm just going to say one thing about this, which although the changes are very simple, I think there's a danger kind of point. Because it's all so similar, that first A section, it would be very easy to go to the B section too early, or maybe even too late. Most people tend to go too early. So you really do have to keep track of where you are on this one. So once through, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. A2 starts now. Back to hit the B. G7. A3. And you would, you know, if that was the last time through, you'd need to play that D minor, C, G, D minor 7, G7 to get back to beginning. But if it was the last time through, you would not want to play those last 2 chords, because once you do, you're committed to going back again. So if you were finishing the tune, you know, the last line, I would go C minor, F, B flat, but you might have like a sort of thing on the end, different possibilities you could do there, but just don't play the D minor 7 or G7 at the end. Otherwise, if you're playing with other people, they really won't thank you, because then you're committed to go around again. Now let's just think about a few practice suggestions. I've used chord voicings that I think work together pretty well, but you could use whatever you want, 3-note, 4-note voicings, put them wherever you like on the guitar. Now there's obviously variations you could do to spice it up, make it more interesting. This would be just the real basic changes, right? On my Patreon page, I have a comping study where I go through examples of nice little changes that I would do to this, little passing chords and subs to put in. When it comes to soloing, Jonny has recorded a beautiful 2-chorus solo, which I've transcribed, and I've done a little breakdown of. So if you're interested in that, then you can get that over on Patreon on the soloist tier. Now, the link to the materials is all in the description, all there for you to get hold of. And just to say, if you've enjoyed this lesson, please leave a comment, hit that like button. I'll be honest, it does kind of improve my motivation to keep making these videos. So, you know what to do. Thanks as ever for your support and tuning in. If you've got any questions or comments, then do leave them below. Until next time, you take care.